What in God's name was that? This foe is in fact on another level. Confident that victory was within his grasp, Timmy quickly turned and unleashed his newly learned technique.
Ah, yes. This one will make a most excellent plaything.
Why is that voice so familiar? Why did I come to this world in the first place? I have a purpose for being here. I know I do. So why can't I remember? For some time, Timmy wandered through the halls of goblin caves in a daze. A fracture has formed in his mind. Part of him wants to know, needs to know what has happened to him. Part of him, though, wants to just continue on hunting fellow combatants and trying to slay the cave troll. The truth of his current reality is too much to bear, but he must face it. Timmy reached into the deepest recesses of his mind, an attic full of dust and cobwebs. There's a reason I call myself a hunter. I am a hunter, but a hunter of what? And in that moment, some of the cobwebs cleared. A haunting image formed in Timmy's mind. A memory of a foe slain long, long ago. That one was almost noble compared to what I face now. It fought with a kind of honor. This one, though. Timmy's head throbs with the pain of an ice pick jabbing into his temple as he attempts to recall further. After retching from the pain, Timmy recovered his concentration. One thing I can be fairly certain of. It doesn't know that I'm a hunter, or it wouldn't have so casually kept me around as this plaything. I need to act natural until I know more of what I'm dealing with. No matter what happens, I can't let it discover that I'm starting to remember. Then, when the time is right, I'll complete my hunt. And to that effect, Timmy resumed his training against the cave troll. Phew, that got a bit heavy. Let's take a step back from the story for a brief moment and check in with Randall to lighten the mood just a bit. Randall, do you have a funny joke for us or something? What do you mean you're not a clown for our amusement? Randall, we all have a part to play in this production. And see here in my notes, end of Act 1. Check in with Randall, the clown, to lighten the mood. It's even in my notes, Randall. Fine, Randall. I'm taking you seriously. What do you want to say? You want me to plug your Twitter account? I give you an opportunity to not be the clown, and you ask me to plug your Twitter because you want to be a big-shot influencer. Do you not see the irony in that? I thought it was called X or Z or something now anyways. Note to self, find new AV guy/clown. Current clown has lost his mind. Back to Timmy it is then. Ever determined, he's returned to practicing against the troll. And what's more, it seems this time he's made a friend who wants to fight the troll as well. The two begin to tag off and get into a bit of a rhythm. Quite impressive for such an impromptu encounter, even if this fellow combatant could at any moment betray Timmy. Any practice is good practice, Timmy thinks. Timmy begins to see that there's potential here in pairing up. Unfortunately for Timmy, he still has a long way to go before he can contribute meaningfully to a duo against the cave troll. After returning to town, Timmy decides to shake things up a bit. How about I practice my bardiche at the same time, he thinks. And in he goes with this new, potent weapon that he's been eyeing for so long. Upon reaching the cave troll, Timmy finds that regrettably, it's already dead. What's more, someone is just standing there, idle. Can you guess what Timmy does next? That's right. He cuts down that poor idle fellow with no hesitation. You're a very naughty boy, Timmy. What's this, though? It seems someone else wants to scour over the remains as well. After a fair bit of dancing, the two finally engage, and my does the bardiche perform well. Timmy executes the feint that he previously learned from Blinn. Miss the first, then charge with the second. This range advantage of the bardiche really is something. The lizard barbarian slinks away to fight another day, leaving Timmy to his ill-gotten spoils. Timmy heads down to the treasure trove below and finds some modest loot. As he's digging through an inordinately massive gold pile, however, he hears the stone doors open above. His lizard barbarian friend is back for another duel. Fantastic! My, that's a lot of torches. And just like that, with a single full combo from the bardiche, the enemy barbarian falls. Timmy truly does love this new weapon. The bardiche continued treating Timmy well. So much so, in fact, that we won't have time to include everything. The people did vote for troll slaying, after all. Rest assured, though, while it will not be entirely replacing axes, the bardiche is now a regular part of Timmy's arsenal. Now, if only it could make Timmy stop being absolutely awful at fighting the troll. Timmy continued diving into the troll cave, determined to get all the experience that he can. As long as I'm not interfering with someone else's attempt, I'm just helping them succeed until I fall, right? He thought. What an unexpectedly ethical outlook, Timmy. This fellow seems to really have a good handle on the fight, Timmy exclaimed. Not only can I learn a lot from this one, but there's a very real chance we could go the distance. Timmy exercises extreme caution this time, making only the attacks that seem absolutely viable. They're making some real progress, but Timmy is acutely aware that this is entirely because his new comrade is expertly keeping the troll occupied. A third troll hunter has arrived, but is he friend or foe? Timmy unexpectedly draws the troll's ire. Time to prove your worth, Timmy. He's learning! It sure is slow, but he's learning. The third fellow is just standing there in confusion. Can we blame him, though? After all, this is the dungeon for solo adventurers, and this pair are giving the troll a run for its money. Well, would you look at that? It's now an impromptu trio. What a rare and astounding show of cooperative effort. Unfortunately, though, all good things must come to an end. The captain of this little trio, Prevail 3, falls to the troll's hammer, and not long after, Timmy, stunned from the sudden change in the troll's aggression, falls as well. That last encounter got Timmy thinking. That Prevail fellow, he really didn't need my help, did he? Sure, I was trying to help, and it was fun seeing a third join as well. But the troll behaved so erratically after I joined. I wonder if he would have succeeded had I not joined in. Still, Timmy felt this struggle against the cave troll would be far more enjoyable with a cohort, and as luck would have it, he had just the adventurer in mind. Enter Yurley, a neophyte wizard who only recently began adventuring in this world. Still, Timmy had a good feeling about him from their passing encounters. Timmy couldn't quite pinpoint why, but he knew that Yurley had true potential. As is expected, it took a good while before the two developed proper coordination. More than a few times, Timmy walked into a hail of magic missiles, or Yurley singed Timmy's fur with a stray fireball. Even engagements against the dungeon's monsters felt awkward and strange. Timmy, who was so comfortable adventuring alone, suddenly had to think incredibly carefully about his positioning relative to another. All the while, Yurley was getting a grasp on the fundamentals of wizardry, which he caught on to rather quickly, as luck would have it. Initial awkwardness aside, the two quickly identified that they bring very different strengths and weaknesses to this duo. This boded incredibly well for their future endeavor against the cave troll, which Yurley, surprisingly, was not intimidated by. Oh, Yurley, if only you knew what Timmy has signed you up for. Now, dear viewers, if you have an aversion to dastardly tricks and untoward tactics, now would be a good time to avert your eyes. The first attempt by our two heroes was anything but fair. They figured the troll is massive, far too large to exit this cave, so what's stopping us from each just occupying it from different entrances? Eventually, this devolved into Yurley simply standing outside of the cave, pelting the troll with magic missiles as it stood there, unflinching. It took a truly tragic amount of time for the pair to realize that they weren't actually making any progress against the foe. This truly is a low point in our story. Finally, Timmy steps in and gives the troll a proper fight. He actually made a solid show of it for a brief moment before the troll yet again bludgeoned him into a fine paste that will likely leave the stink of embarrassment and failure on the cave floor for decades. At this point, the two decided it was time for a bit of a strategy session. They felt that their two-pronged approach still had potential, but before attempting again, it probably would be best to get Yurley a bit more regular combat experience. His spells currently feel as if they aren't quite hitting as hard as they could. Yurley continued on for a bit about all the things he'd love to do to improve his spellcasting, but suddenly noticed that Timmy had become strangely distracted. "Still there, or did I lose you with my rambling?" he piped up. "Sorry about that. Just got a bit lost in thought there for a moment," Timmy responded, masking his state of confusion. "Well, all right then. No time to waste. Let's get you stronger so you can cast all those fancy spells." And get to training they did indeed. Timmy quite enjoyed this time in Yurley's progress. After his time training under Blinn, it felt rather fulfilling to take someone under his wing and give a bit back. Monsters and fellow combatants alike, they practiced against everything they could find. Admittedly, though, they frequently bit off more than they could chew. After all, though, if they don't push themselves, how will they find their true limits? Over time, the two began to find their rhythm. Success and failure came into balance, and the scale very slightly tipped towards the former. Both learned valuable lessons. For Timmy, it was incredibly profound to realize that he doesn't always need to be the one making moves. Sometimes it's better to stay back and let Yurley do what he does best. For Yurley, it was communication and coordination. After all, Timmy can't avoid those magic missiles if he doesn't know they're coming. They truly were becoming a team, with a kind of bond and cohesion that can only form with time and shared struggle. I dare say as well, dear viewer, that they had their fair share of epic moments in the process. My God, Timmy, you lucky, lucky barbarian! Still, in all this, Yurley hadn't yet accomplished something that he so dearly wanted. He wanted just one clean hunt of an enemy combatant. You know, one where he doesn't mow down Timmy in the process. That does come with a bit of difficulty, though. After all, as much as Timmy is learning to measure his steps, he is still a wolf and a barbarian, a true recipe for blood rage. Eventually, though, Yurley finds his moment. Good fireballs, Yurley! The fighters had to second wind. Timmy traded as best he can, but this fight is now Yurley's. And there, at the very last moment, he got it. The pair may have left that dungeon to the opposing duo, but for Yurley, this was quite the victory. Now we're ready for the troll, the two shouted in unison. Timmy thought this was an excellent war cry and opted to charge the troll, shouting, "I'm ready! I'm ready! I'm ready!" Maybe slightly less inept is a better way of putting it. Now, dear viewers, what comes next took a truly inordinate amount of time for our troll hunting pair. Seriously, Timmy hadn't adventured that hard since Mountain Dew Baja Blast was still new. So, remember the rapid-fire round we had a few chapters back? Well, here comes a different kind of rapid-fire round. It'll be something special. Randall, do the thing. Okay, Randall, I'm sorry for the clown joke. That was insensitive of me, and I really don't have it written in my notes that you're a clown. Now, will you do the thing? Now, it may startle you to learn that that was in fact 80 or so more attempts. However, the remainder were interrupted by other troll hunters, and it just doesn't feel fair to give the troll credit for those. Needless to say, our determined duo is mighty tired, but they've learned quite a bit in the process. First, Timmy is now the dedicated decoy. What an unusual and uncomfortable role for him to be in. Still, Timmy eventually needed to accept that well, for lack of a better way to put it, he's garbage at finding openings to attack the troll. So, playing to their strengths, Timmy decoys to buy time for Yurley to unleash those spells. Second, Yurley's targeting needs to be on point. That troll's moving around an awful lot, so rest assured, this is a test of skill for Yurley as well. These attempts against the troll, in fact, were taking an inordinate amount of time until Yurley and Timmy heard a story from a fellow troll hunter named Ekavolo, who gave Yurley some expert tips on how to best apply damage to this foe. Ekavolo recommends a very similar strategy to taking down the troll, so the pair were relieved to hear that they're on the right track. Now it's just a matter of time and patience. Even with this methodical approach, though, the troll is an incredibly unpredictable foe. Oh, the roar connected. This could be bad. Well, Timmy, at least you've got those jumps down. Too bad he swung high this time. The duo enters the troll cave for their next attempt, with one troll hunter already on the floor, having recently failed. The two deliberated. Is another nearby still, or are we safe to begin? After dispatching a stray goblin, who apparently also fancies himself a troll hunter, they choose to begin. Yurley initiates the encounter in order to get the troll's attention first. First is the easy part for our dear Timmy. As long as Yurley is pelting the troll with spells, he only needs to provide an occasional distraction. All the while, Yurley is pulling back when the troll nears. As long as one of them is inside the cave at all times, the encounter may continue. Not much longer now, and then it will be time for Timmy to earn his paycheck. In a fit of rage and frustration, the troll roars at Timmy uncontrollably. This is most fortuitous for the pair, as Yurley can get in clean shots while Timmy is safely out of the roar's range. Yurley alerts Timmy, "That's it, I'm tapped out. I need to meditate." Timmy's learned that positioning is absolutely key in this moment. He rotates to the left of the troll while attempting to stay at just the right position, not too close and not too far. And just like that, Yurley's back at it. Well done, Timmy. For those of you who were expecting Timmy to go on a rampage as he normally does against challenging foes, this must be such a strange sight. Did you notice that there, though? For the briefest of moments, he pulls out his axe when the troll roars. Timmy's watching very closely to see if the roar connects with Yurley. If it does, he has an opportunity to take a swing. If it doesn't, though, attacking will most certainly draw unwanted attention. It may not look it, but our Timmy's still looking for openings. And there, he got one. Well struck, Timmy. Get that 0.1% of total damage. No time to celebrate, though. Yurley needs to meditate again. You decoy, Timmy. Decoy with all your heart. Another good cycle, thanks in part to the troll's uncontrollable roaring fit. No doubt in response to Timmy's expertly struck attack. Many by now must be thinking, will this thing ever die? And rest assured, our adventurers have thought the exact same thing many a time. The troll is truly a hearty foe. At this point, both adventurers are keenly aware that this is one of their best attempts. The nerves well up inside as the very real possibility of success rises. The two things are lockstep with one another. Yurley calls out again for another meditation break. Get ready, Timmy! So far, so good. Oh dear. That roar connected. Timmy's been tinkering with blocking what comes next. Let's see how he does. Not well. Not well at all. And just like that, those shakes from Chapter 3. They're back. You've got this, Timmy. Don't let the nerves get the best of you. Fortunately, Yurley's back to relieve Timmy, but he can't afford another mistake like that. Timmy's mulling over in his mind whether he'll attempt the shield block again if he's hit by another roar. But then, suddenly, to the surprise of both Timmy and Yurley, the troll falls. The two are both absolutely stunned. They didn't expect this moment and aren't entirely sure what to do now that they've succeeded. Suddenly, Timmy's demeanor changed. His eyes became glassy and his movements as if being pulled on like a marionette. He reaches down to collect some of the fresh troll's blood and then says to Yurley, "Go on. That's all I needed from this foe. The rest is yours." "If you insist, I certainly won't complain," Yurley chimes back, excited for the spoils of their efforts. The axe finds its mark at the nape of Yurley's neck. His death is swift. Timmy looks into the distance, or perhaps at the shadows. His eyes are fixed on something.
Now go. Go far from this place and continue to suffer for my amusement.
As you will, my liege. The blood portal opens, leading to a world far, far away.